All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to today's special episode of Profit Acceleration Secrets. And today we're conducting a profit acceleration coaching session. Today, I am delighted to have my guest, Megan, online with us today. Megan, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, thank you for saying yes. And it's always great to reconnect, Megan. And you look spectacular today. You make me feel underdressed for my own show today.
Thank
Megan,
you.
thank you so much for being on. Before we jump into our conversation, Megan, I love to just take a minute to spotlight you. So we'd love for you to introduce yourself and tell us about your business. What do you do and who do you serve?
Yes, I'm Megan Duncan with Cambara Duncan Consulting Firm. It's an HR management consulting firm where we specialize in employee relations for small businesses and give positive solutions for small businesses trying to achieve workforce improvements, whether it be through employee engagement, employee relationships, or recruiting and just the traditional HR services we offer.
All right. And so you are based out of Texas, correct?
Yes, but I'm nationwide.
And I
I'm
was going to
remote.
say, able to serve clients nationwide. So perfect. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Megan, I'd love for you to kind of teach us more about your products and services. And I know we were just kind of talking about the potential of going deeper in this kind of category, I guess. But would love to break it down for us. What does the core, service offerings that you share with your customers, what does that start to look like?
Typically, when I get customers, there's usually a conflict going on that they're unable to resolve. So it'll look like me doing the employee investigation, coming up with some positive solutions to help remedy it, and then the implementation. Or recruiting, they're growing, they're expanding their businesses, or they're not sure how to find good talent, or they don't have the time to find great talent. And that's where I come in. And then also, you need HR, but you'll need HR, 40 hours a week. But you may need HR, I don't know, a few hours a month. I'm here to service you for that.
All right. And don't let me skip over this as well, but currently working on your PhD as well.
Yes, I'm working on my doctorate in business
Yeah.
administration with
DBA.
organizational leadership and development. Yep.
All right, fantastic. So pretty soon, Dr. Duncan,
Yeah, Dr. Megan.
Dr. Megan. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put it out there. No, I just want to pay homage to everything you're building, the value that you're providing to your customers, and just that personal development journey that you are absolutely on. Good stuff, Megan. Um, let me kind of spin the corner on this one first, and then again, I want to dive into some of the goals you have for your business and really jump into any potential opportunities or barriers. But right now, with your current business and business model, how would you define, Megan? How are you different from many of your competitors? What are some things that makes your business unique that just from your point of view?
Well, I think from just my research, nobody really specializes in employee relations solutions, and I do that.
Mm,
So there's also everybody who has employees has conflict in their businesses because we're humans, and humans, have issues with each other from time to time, and sometimes you don't have, managers or owners don't have the skill set to, um, fix the problem. So I come in and give solutions from an HR perspective. A lot of times, what happens is the person in charge or the manager wears multiple hats, and the
mhm.
problem may be that the employee can't talk to that person because they're actually the problem. So me being a third party can come in there and help remedy it and say, hey, listen, these are some solutions from I see it from the outside since I'm a non-biased party in that regard.
All right, perfect. And the goal with our conversation today, Megan, is really just to dig deeper around everything that you're trying to build, the understanding the goals that you're pushing forward. So let's just say, if we're able to come up with a couple of really good strategies for you for your business, what does your business look like 6 to 12 months from now?
Yeah, I hope I get some longer term contracts. Right now, I just do contract work, so sometimes contracts for like 3 to 5 months, but would like to work on a contract that's a little bit longer.
Okay. And then I guess what are some of the challenges that may be blocking some of those opportunities? What does that start to look like for you?
I think some of my clientele aren't, they don't have the ability right now, the financial ability to be able to afford my services for a long experience. a long period of time. But with anything with change, humans take time to change. And if you don't have that change agent there, they kind of revert back to their old ways because that agent is not there to say, hey, we're not doing those anymore. We're not going to revert back. So a lot of times I'll see them, hey, this is happening again because they're not implementing or it didn't stick. So having somebody on for like a longer period of time would help cement that change. So for me, having, I guess, a little more longevity with my clients, even though I know they're going to come back eventually, but just on the initial run for the contract.
Okay. Describe for me then, tell us about your perfect customer profile. What's your ideal avatar look like?
Yeah, a customer that's open and willing to change because I can't do anything if you don't change, and your business won't change if you're not willing to change. And understanding that change can sometimes be a little bit painful, but in the long run, it's good for the organization and for your employees. So for me, the sweet spot is from anybody who has like uh, eight to 10 employees up to like 50, about 51 to 60 employees. You need a full-time HR person for that.
Mhm. All right. So I want to push a little deeper on that one. And then I would love to talk about kind of the packaging opportunities with your business model for your, I call them perfect customer profile. So PCP, that's the term I use with all my clients. When we talk about that, Megan, what I love to hear is the actual story that your customer is going through. So, I want to encourage you, but I can share any resources as needed that, hey, tell me about your perfect customer profile. Well, hey, Jarvis, my customer profile is a 36-year-old CEO that manages this type of firm, has this many employees, is making this much in revenue. Because like you said, right, we need to
Mm.
make sure that your customers can afford you, Dr. Megan. So that
Yeah.
there's a whole story based on demographics and psychographics that I want you to be able to tell and paint that picture so fluidly. So that's just one quick takeaway is that I would say let's consider digging deeper into
Okay.
your PCP, your customer profile, and really understand what are their needs, what are they going through, why should they hire you, why wouldn't they hire you, right? We want to be prepared so if they start throwing objections to working with you, Dr. Megan, then we want to have that pivot ready to go, right?
Yeah.
So those are just some opportunities there. Let me stop there and just ask, does that make sense, or any thoughts or questions on that?
Yeah. So I think my sweet spot is blue collar, kind of bleeding into like a light blue ish from the white, because blue collar folk are my people,
Hmm.
and I have a lot of experience in HR in that realm, and I do have tons of experience in that realm, and I have a few experience in the white collar. But typically, what I find for like small businesses, whether it's food services or manufacturing or trucking, that type of the blue collarish industry is it's a lot of turnover, and a lot of times the people who get into those roles as owners are like, oh, okay, this will be an easy franchise, or just be easy because I've done it before, but they've only looked at it from a perspective of a single person and not from the macro level and how to manage those people. So the skill set for them is not there. It's not a ding. It's just they don't have that skill set and understanding your skills, your strengths. My strengths is not like marketing or what we're talking about right now, but my strength is human resources and helping organizations develop uh, in that regard.
And I guess to some of that also, do you have a target market that you're focused on? Are you niche down in any particular thing? Or are you kind of open to all industries?
I'm kind of open at this point.
All right. So, and remind me, how long have you been at it business wise?
Uh, Business wise, 3 years.
3 years. So again, I'm saying this knowing that I probably have a lot more questions I can ask. But Megan, I would push to say consider niching down or calling out. I don't want to say niche down. Consider calling out two or three key industries, even though you can serve anybody. But what if within your marketing material, your websites or social media, what if you just constantly call out two to three industries, right? And I'm just making it
Mm.
up, but if you are the HR consultant company of choice for real estate, for transportation, for food and beverage, now people can start to get behind you because they know, hey, if I'm in these industries, there's this one company I know I need to call. Um,
Yeah, that's a good
you know,
idea.
Yeah. Any thoughts or questions about just targeting your top three, even if you can serve all, but I would market to some key ones. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because recently I have a few clients who are in the mental health world who've actually contacted me and I've serviced them. So I don't know if the word got out, but I'm like,
Mm.
okay, this is cool. And then I do have a little bit of experience in that realm, but yeah, so I think that's a good idea to like hone in on that because I know there's nobody out there actually doing it other than like the ADPs of them all, you know.
Yeah. And that I think could just be, I mean, to what you just said, right? Hey, we are the HR choice for, all healthcare and mental health companies in the US. I mean, you got a big market. US, or excuse me, healthcare is what the second largest industry right behind the government.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
that could be a pretty good payday for those companies. Um, Teach me this with your current mix of services that you offer. Are any of them priced over $10,000 to $12,000?
It depends on what it is they're doing. So I do charge more for the conflict resolution or the investigations,
Mhm.
and then also the recruiting. I do a percentage, a finder's fee percentage, so that can vary based off of their salary.
Okay.
So that's what
So
I mean, like with the packages thing, it
yeah,
can.
it's dependent upon certain scenarios, is what it sounds like.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Now, do you have kind of a signature approach? So you know, like if a client comes in and they need this service, you have a just stepwise, like I know I'm going to do step one, step two, kind of go through that as a way to serve them.
Yes, I do.
All right. So I would recommend, writing down each one of those steps or my personal superpower, these things right here. Just take a sticky tab and step one, I do this, and all the steps for the different services you offer. That's how you start to actually turn it into a package. I
Oh.
guess, can you give me a quick example of one of the services that you do offer?
Yes. So, for example, I do recruiting, and recruiting would be based off of the salary of the individual or the talent you're trying to find,
Mhm.
and then do a percentage off of that. And then it costs me to advertise, and then it costs my time to select, interview, and then background check. All that goes into the behind the scenes, and then present to you the hiring agent to say yes or no on these candidates.
All
So I
right.
do have like a general price point for starting it, and then based off of the salary, because it's gonna take time if you're trying to do like a CEO of like IBM or something, versus somebody who works frontline at you know insert box here.
All right. So then is that currently priced on a what basis? The amount of time it takes you to do it, or what's the, I guess, considerations behind the pricing model there?
Yeah, the time it takes me and to stay competitive. I know like if you're thinking of like a big staffing agency, you can name them, then I need to be a little bit under them, but at the same time be able to make a profit off of that as well.
Okay. So again, I'm just giving you some quick coaching thoughts, but if there are more questions to ask, please let me know as I share my quick thoughts here. Um, I would actually say, look in your area and find that big staffing company, like you just said. Look at their average price for a similar service, and go ahead and price it above theirs. I would
Really?
go ahead and package it appropriately, right? Just because we're small businesses don't mean we play small.
Yeah, yeah.
But then the other side of that is, let's just say if it is the recruitment service that you just mentioned, just break down simplified thought here. What are 3 to 5 steps of what it takes for you to get that done? Can you kind of break that down for me real quick?
Oh, like actually doing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it'll be one, looking at the job description or creating the job description if they don't have it. That's time right there.
Mhm.
And then after that, you have to do a posting, so it has to look some way enticing. So that's 2 steps, right? And then three, you got to figure out what platforms would be best served based off of that job role. So that's 3 steps right there.
Okay. So I would go ahead and, look at the last 10 to 20 times you've done this, and, come up with some decent trustworthy, confident level statistics to say, hey, to knock out these first three steps is going to take me 7 days. I'm just making up numbers. But hey, here's my recruitment package. I can have you set up and hire, ready to start hiring your next executive in 7 days or less, guaranteed. And here's my standard process: step one, step two, step three. And this is my standard price. So now this is how we go ahead and look at the packaging for, or excuse me, look at the service and start to turn it into a package. But because you've done your research to know that, hey, on average, it takes anywhere from about 3 to 9 days. So I'm going to go ahead and say my average standard price is a 7 day model, right?
Hmm.
And now this becomes something that you can market, and you can market each one of those steps effectively. Excuse me. So now you can market that whole package for your recruitment service. That's one marketing play. You can market step one, step two, and step three. So that's three additional marketing plays. And then you can market the entire dynamic of what you just said. Hey, I can get you from zero to ready to hire for your next executive in 7 days or less, without you being worried about this, without you having to deal with all the tech issues behind the scenes. Like you're taking care of all of it. But just really quick, off the riff example, I know, Megan, but to take your service, something that you're already going to do, a huge part of your business model, and to now package it. And yes, sometimes you're going to get folks that you could do it in a couple of days. Sometimes you may get folks take a little bit longer, but on average, you're still maintaining the product model, and now it's completely marketable to what you're trying to do. Let me stop talking, but I just wanted to kind of share a quick example of how to take a service and turn it into a package. But I guess let me stop there and get your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's great. Because I never even thought about it like that. Because it is, those are basically the general ideas before even putting it on, the web or whatever. You have to do the
Mhm.
background research before you throw something up, right? If you want to
Absolutely.
you throw crap up, you get crap feedback, right?
Well, and I mean, it places you in a different level of expertise, I would say, Megan, because now you're the person with a standard process, a standard, set of steps to get these things done. Now you become an expert at doing these three things. Can't nobody do it better than me, right? That's the mindset we want to give to our customers when
Okay.
they're choosing to partner with us. But the other part of it is because you've already looked at the market to see what the general, price of that same service is, and you've adjusted your prices appropriately to where you're priced a little bit higher than some of your competitors. So again, you're going to make up for any time loss based on the fact that you've increased your prices effectively. And now you've created a package that is going to put you in a sweet spot. So you'll know confidently, 80% of my jobs, I'll have it done in 7 days or less. And there's going to be the weird one offs, that might take a little bit longer, but I'm okay because I've increased my price. So I'm not hitting a loss compared to maybe where your prices are today. So just some quick thoughts on that. But again, let me come over to you and get your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes. I think that's a great idea. Like I've been kind of scratching my head, just talking to a girlfriend who has a similar business that I am, but and she has packages, and she was saying, I was like, yeah, okay, I want to say how'd you come with the package, but I didn't want to, we're kind of competitors, so I don't want to do too much alike. But yeah, this is a good idea. I will sit down and do this because I was also thinking I could do a package for the investigation since employee relations is my sweet spot.
Yeah.
Um, can you say? Of course, you can say this, but like, hey, I'll tell you what the problem is, even though they kind of know what the problem. Sometimes they know what the problem is, but once you do the investigation, you realize it's something completely different. Could that be like a package and not necessarily the solution? But hey,
No.
this is the
So
problem.
yeah, I would say that to me is part of your marketing now, right? So again, think about the last 10 times you provided this service to a client, and you've collected a long list of all the problems that they've expressed to you about why they need you to come in and do that investigative process and be that non-biased, observer for what they're working through. Now, I'd leverage that, and this is a strategy that I call a market dominating position. So when we as small business owners, we can articulate the problems that our customers have and the results that they want, we need to be able to feed that back to them in a way that resonates to get them to raise their hand. So hey, are you a small business owner dealing with X, Y, and Z? It's literally the stuff you already know they're dealing with, Megan. They're going to be like, yeah, that is me. Well, hey, do you need someone to come through and be a non-biased observer to help you solve A, B, and C? Well, absolutely. I that's exactly what I need. Well, hi, my name is Megan Duncan, right? And now you just do a quick introduction. Hey, go ahead and connect with me. Click the link, call me, whatever call to action you would add on to that. And that becomes a really simple marketing push. But
Okay.
for each level of your service, though, Megan, absolutely. I would say, okay, for my investigative process, these are my 3 steps or 5 steps, however many steps that looks like. That becomes another package. Same thing, like we said, with the recruitment service.
Hmm. That's some good food for thought. Yeah. Okay.
And you can literally do that for every service offering that you have. As service based business providers, the more we can turn that service into a package, it now becomes just a more stable revenue generating model for your business. That's been my personal experience and what I've coached, many of my clients on for their businesses.
Do you also print that out, like if you're like meeting with them? Because I've come to a point to where I just say the price in front of everybody or like my audience,
Mhm.
instead of like before I would go home and think about it, and then do all the calculations, and then I would email them, and then sometimes I'd hear back from them, and sometimes I would get ghosted. So
Sure.
I found like it's easier just for me to say, hey, here's the price. This is what it is, and maybe having this a package on a printout or something of some sort and handed it to them, they can visually see it. And like when you can see it, it gives you something different. You know what I mean? It gives you more information.
Well, I guess let me ask you this. I mean, do you currently have your sales process documented so that to your question, these are the conversations that I'm having at every step, but this is where I will share a visual or I'll share this level of information. Do you
I
have that
don't
documented?
know.
No? All right. So again, another quick takeaway for you then for sure is world famous sticky notes right here. Map out your sales process, but then you could also map out the conversations that you're having at every level of your sales process. And then the second part of that is the marketing information. So, to your question now, hey, when we get to this step in our sales process, this is where I'm going to share with them, my service list. And maybe it's a diagram of, hey, here is my signature solution. That is what I coach on, is turning all of these services into products and AKA signature solutions. But hey, here's my 5 step model for my investigative services. And it's a beautiful graphic that you could just hand them.
Hmm.
And then the other part of that, Megan, is when you wrap up that conversation, let's say if that was your formal discovery meeting for your business, don't let them leave that meeting without booking another meeting first.
Okay.
So, hey, Jarvis, here you go. I would love to go ahead and circle back with you on Tuesday. Hey, can you go ahead and pull out your calendar? Let's go ahead and book that time. It's just a quick 15-minute check-in. So now they're on the hook to consider what you've given them and to make a decision, right? At the end of the day, we just want to work with people who are willing to make a decision. And then if it's not now, that's fine. Then we put them on a drip campaign, right? So
Mhm.
you can let me know if you have a drip campaign built out, but the drip campaign is just how we nurture the relationship until they finally say, you know what? I remember Dr. Megan. She was the bomb.
Yeah, I do kind of. I have it all on my handy dandy phone. Like, okay, follow up with such and such in 3 weeks, and it'll just pop up to say, oh, send them an email or send them a text message, see how they're doing, and follow up, because usually if there's a problem, it's going to stay there.
All right. So my quick plug to that point is a CRM. Megan, we got to get a CRM. It fortunately slash unfortunately, I think it is a requirement for small business success today. But yeah, I want you to just be able to push a button, and they are just going to automatically get the follow ups that we will create. So that's the power of a CRM.
Okay. Yeah. 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 That's true.
All right.
That's true. I was
So
actually looking at them yesterday, some CRMs.
All right. Now I have my preference. I can say again, positive, for better or for worse, I've gone through my fair share. Um, be clear on your goals because I think that's how you select a good CRM is based on your goals because they all kind of do different things.
Hmm.
But for most of my small business clients, they just want better marketing. And what I found for marketing, this is a shameless plug because they are a strategic partner and sponsor for the show, the podcast here, is key. So that is one to check out. But there's a lot of good ones out there. Unfortunately, there are even more bad ones out there. So
Okay.
just kind of keep your eyes open. But keep is what I use in my business and it's what I refer to all my clients.
Is keep spelled the way it sounds, like Keep?
KEAP.
Okay.
But let me stop there, Megan. I know I just went through a bunch of different strategies and examples, but um, let me know your quick thoughts. But then I love to ask you, what's one or two takeaways, given our time and conversation today, that resonates and something you think you feel confident moving forward with.
Well, I never had a coach before, and this is nice just to be able to talk it out. So this is I enjoyed our conversation, and the breaking it down step by step is something I've never even thought of. It's just the process of how you get from A to Z to do the job, right? So, and I was racking my brain trying to think about how can I make a package, but now I can see just exactly like that, spell it out, or step by step. I think that's a good point. I'll have to sit down and do that, and I think it'll make things easier when I get to some clients because I do things on a scale based off of their how much I can afford, kind of.
Mhm.
So, but now since this is the package, I can be like, okay, well, it'll be easier to slide things around like that.
Okay. Well, and I want to emphasize too, go back to your PCP, your perfect customer profile, because one main part, given your business model, you need I think, a specific type of customer who's
Hmm.
ready and willing to bring you into their business to get your help. So
Right.
I don't want you sifting through the mud of all potential customers. I want you to say, you know what? That's the type of business or industry or whatever it is, staffing models or revenue. But this is my ideal customer. It's the person that I want to work with because you're going to be building a relationship with them as well. So don't overlook that piece too.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was on the first page of my notes I took.
You know, I'm that's why I always have to stop myself because I was like, oh, this is fun, and then I was like, let me not throw the whole kitchen sink at her. So it's like, all right, I got 3 pages, Jarvis, I'm good.
Yeah.
Megan, let me just say, reconnecting with you, this to me is absolutely fun. It's just what I enjoy doing, talking strategy and just anything that's going to be helpful for you, for your journey. Megan, I'd love to just give you a chance before we let you go. Please give a shout out to your business. Where can we learn more about you, your business? Are you on social? Can we follow you? And I will absolutely post all of these links, with your show as well when we get it posted.
Yeah, you can find me at my website at Chambara Duncan Consulting Firm. It's spelled on the name right there. And then I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on the regular social medias as well. I'm not very active, but that's a goal of mine to be more active. But you can definitely email me at Megan at Chambara Duncan Consulting Firm, or you can text or call me at 512-523-5789.
All right, fantastic. And trust me, I think as you lay out, all the services into that package model and just step by step, that's going to be your activity for your social media feed. It's just posting something. Hey, are you interested? Do you want to know about step one of my such and such package? And now you just break it down and you're just teaching people exactly what you need them to know or how it can be beneficial to their businesses. So your marketing play, it's coming very soon.
Yeah, I just started doing Mailchimp, and that is my thing. I do a teaching email that comes out every couple of weeks to say, hey, small businesses, blah blah blah. This is the importance of whatever the subject is.
All right, fantastic. And you're including a call to action at the end of those emails, right?
I am free
Okay.
booking, free consultations for the first 30 minutes.
All right, fantastic. I love it. Megan, again, thank you. for the chance just to plug in to everything you're building in your business. And to everyone who is plugging in with our conversation, thank you all for making us a part of your day. This is Jarvis and Megan officially wishing you all more leads, more customers, and more profits. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for your time.